All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Episode 13. I got my co-host back. Thank God, because when you just hand me a mic, you saw what happened last week. I'm not so angry today. I got guys to bounce my decisions off of, so
Here we
I think we'll
go.
be all right. Mike, LPN, co-host, how are you doing? I miss you.
I'm good. I'm much better. I got my stuff all lined up. Um, this is episode 13. You know whose favorite number is 13, right?
I don't.
Taylor Swift.
That's her favorite number.
Absolutely, everything's 13. It's her lucky number.
She doesn't buy into the mystery of it all. I guess
No, she's had songs, albums. I mean, 13.
really.
Everybody knows that 13 is. I thought everybody knew that
Well,
is her lucky number.
Is
now we
she?
do. Now we do know.
Yeah, now we know.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
she's an interesting one, eh? Hey.
Yeah,
Um.
they were at Coachella over the weekend.
Oh, Coachella.
Coachella's, yeah, that's a big music festival in
Yeah.
Palm Springs area. Yeah, they were
Mhm.
there. Them and Ice Spice.
Oh,
So let me ask you: you love Taylor Swift. Are you
Love it.
physically attracted to her or emotionally attracted to her?
I think I'm emotionally attracted to what she represents, to
And
what
that
they represent.
the Hollywood,
Our royal family.
they're like, yeah, I get it.
They're
You're
like
all
Princess
in.
Diana and Charles. I'm all
Yeah.
into what they represent. When they get married, it's going to be the biggest thing ever. I'm into what she is.
What if? Can you go to that marriage somehow? That ceremony?
I'd like to have a sit down on the show with them about some of the addiction things that they ran across
Yeah.
in both of their careers, Taylor and Travis. But we'll see. Things can happen. If
Well,
anybody knows her, I'd like to interview her.
I'll put the word out. We'll see what happens.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, they're like the Hollywood couple. They are. I've been
But
looking out.
back to what you were saying. That'd be a little creepy. Remember the line, creepy
Yeah.
nurse,
Mm-hmm.
or cool nurse.
Uh,
She's a little young, so I'm. I like to be her cool uncle.
how old is Taylor?
34.
Wow.
it's not bad.
Yeah, that's in my ballpark.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm 54. I could be her father.
True. She's more in Nick's range. She's 33, so
Yeah.
right up there.
Yeah.
All right, nice to hear you're doing good.
Doing
Let's
good.
check
I'm
out.
glad everybody's doing well, and I hope Nick is doing great.
Always good, Mike.
He's
There's
always
my
good.
buddy.
Yeah. Always good. I did some yard work the past couple of days and instantly regretted both days so
Oh
far.
yeah.
So
Whew.
yeah. So I was in a phase. I'm just like, you know what? I finally got a couple of dollars in my pocket, and I'm like, you know what? Let me go spend it on a ton of White River rock to
Nice.
put in my backyard. And yeah, I'm hurting now. I'm hurting now.
I bet you are.
Yeah, about 70 buckets it took me to fill up out of the truck.
It's kind of amazing how physically you have it together. Because like me at 33, my back was broken, dude. I can't believe you do what you do. Softball and moving.
Well, even though I do look like large and in charge, shirtless, I like to say I look like Jason Momoa. So, it's not easy. I mean, I'm in the moment. So in the moment,
Yeah,
I'm all about it. But the second it's done, I regret everything that happened.
of course. That's a story of my life.
So, like, I'm already planning tomorrow. I had a job switch to it on Thursday. So I'm pretty much planning to do absolutely nothing tomorrow.
Right.
So it's to recoup.
Jesus Christ. You really you got a full plate, kiddo.
I'm trying to keep busy here and there.
Don't slip a disc or something. Like, be careful.
I'll try not to.
Lift with
No,
your legs.
no promises. I don't know. I get beat up. I went to go put a trailer on my truck a couple of months ago. All I did was start spinning the trailer thing. Back went out. I didn't even lift nothing. Just started spinning the wheel to get the trailer to go down.
Yeah. I would
So.
I would throw my back up picking up a remote control or something like nothing
Well,
like
you got to keep the remote in your pocket always.
that's a good point.
Yes,
That
always.
is a good point.
Yeah,
So
I got a few.
anyway, we have fun together, the three of us. I didn't have my co-host last week, and you saw what happened with that. So it's good to have my friends on here again. I went on a bit of a rant. I got fired up about something, and it's just I wasn't angry at anybody, but I'm just angry at the disease and all the friends I have that have died, and I'm tired of it. So I had my platform for the first time in my life. I've never gotten to say really. So I kind of let it out there, and everything I was saying, I was talking to myself as well. It is what it is. I'm not usually an angry guy, but I wasn't really angry either. I was just fired up.
You were just fired up.
That's
Hell
all.
yeah. Hey, get fired up, Tim.
Yeah, but you guys
Uh,
too. You know what I mean? Like, say your piece, do what you got to do, and
Yeah, I mean,
cons-
I've lost coworkers, not necessarily quantified
yeah,
addicts,
right.
quantified legally,
I
but
know
I'm telling you, I've lost coworkers.
it's brutal.
Man, look at the one dude. Like, I'm not going to say his name. The one dude we worked with was a RSS. Then he became a supervisor. He's a counselor now. You know what I mean? Dude lived with in an Oxford house. And I remember looking at his page, and on his background or his main photo, whatever the behind your profile picture, whatever they call that,
Yeah, the banner.
the banner, whatever, dude. And in his main photo, his four best friends are all dead.
Mm,
You know what I mean? His
yep.
four best friends. And it's sad. It really is. But this is the life we live, man. And the way we could honor them and to honor the people that we hurt is to keep trucking, keep doing our thing, stay positive, help another addict or alcoholic, and live on and just get this show.
That's a
And
good
try
point. I mean,
Although I
that,
am uncomfortable with Nick wearing blackface on camera. But
hey, I was doing yard work. I might just got tan. I don't know. I'm
yeah,
trying. I'm trying to be under the light so I could see some,
yeah,
whatever. You guys got the light around you. Mike looks like an angel,
yeah.
looks like Al
so
Jolson in
I'm
blackface.
trying to figure the angles out here. I don't know.
Well, last week I got sunburn, and it was so fucking bad. I mean, if you look at my face now versus last week, you would have just thought I got sunburned so bad. Like it was brutal. That might have played a part in my rant.
You had a nice little neck tan too. It was wild.
Oh yeah, still got it a little bit.
Hey,
I thought that was from the eclipse.
Yeah, I stare at the eclipse all day. Yep. So
Mm.
I don't know. Let's. I wanted to talk about different substances, what they do to you, how they're dangerous, and what they are in general, and just kind of roll through those because we got a lot of parents watching this show. People don't understand what heroin is, and they don't understand what withdrawal is, or post-acute withdrawal. They don't know any of that stuff. So, like, I'm gonna kick us off and kind of go the way I wanted it to. So heroin is one of them. There isn't fentanyl anymore. It's just heroin. And if you're lucky, there's no trank in it. Now, trank is this disease. It's a tranquilizer. It's an animal sedative. And they're putting it in the heroin, and it's eating their legs. You get crocodile legs, like they're
Mm.
brutally eating their legs. Yet they still keep doing it. Um, so I mean, that's that's the worst of the worst with heroin.
But the thing that gets me though is like now being clean for so long, like you think about these times and like those stories, like you could laugh at it now, you know what I mean? And but like you don't realize like the things I had to do to get some because as Mike said, it's a
It
rich
is.
man's drug.
It
You know
is.
what I mean? And I mean, you're working two jobs pretty much. You're working to
Yep.
provide yourself with the drugs, and then now you're doing whatever you can to get more.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
so the action it takes to continue your addiction is it's just insane.
It's crazy. Now I
It
would
really
buy
is.
cocaine off the streets in Kensington, and I would mix it with my heroin. Let me tell you
Oh,
something. Shooting cocaine is the craziest rush I've ever felt.
I've
Um,
heard that.
and some of it's bath salts too, so you're just going crazy. But yeah, you could buy some shit cocaine down in Kensington if you wanted to. But yeah, cocaine is bad because it makes you paranoid. You don't eat, you don't drink water. You're just a hot mess, and you're just, where's the coke? Where's the coke? Where's the coke? And then you can't fall asleep, and then the sun comes up, and then you got to go to work, and you want to kill yourself. So like
Yeah.
that's brutal. Like I don't want to live that life. I've tried it. I've tried the cocaine life. Does not work for me. But a similar substance, methamphetamines. This is new to my world. I never did meth until a year ago. No, thank you. Not good. I not enjoy it. And the meth heads, what they say, people who are meth, they look miserable. They look absolutely miserable. So I'm not sure what we're not rating the substances, but I'm not sure what's worse. Like this is top on my list. Very scary substances, and since I moved to Georgia, there's a lot of that.
Well, it's a lot of it too is the psychosis that comes after the fact too, right? Like cocaine really doesn't have that. See, the drugs you're listing off now, like cocaine and meth, a lot of them say that it's more the mental than the physical. I mean, there
Right.
are physical ailments that happen and things like that. But I know for me firsthand, like, it I remember one time I was driving a bread route up in North Jersey, like closer to PA, and I'm in traffic and I'm like making B sounds like zzz, zzz, and I'm looking around and swatting at things thinking that they're there. And I remember looking around and I'm like, oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
But I couldn't stop. You
I
know what
know.
I mean? And I wasn't smoking it out of a pipe. I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was just snorting it, and then I was dapping on my cigarettes when I smoked cigarettes. So things got pretty weird.
Yeah.
But if you don't like sleep, you don't want to take a dump for fucking 3 weeks.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's where it's at. And
Yeah.
the same thing, it's cheaper than cocaine, but you lock yourself in your house and
Yep.
it's dark and you're peeking through the blinds and you're looking
Now,
under your
back in my
couch.
day, now, did you guys used to call it crank?
Crank. Yeah. I don't know what.
Okay.
I've heard
Crank.
it. Never.
It was crank.
What is what? When's back in the was that 70s?
Yeah.
80s,
Early
80s.
early 90s.
80s.
Crank.
Mhm.
Why do they call it crank? You know what absolutely sucks? Moving. The stress, the anxiety, the pressure of moving your entire life to a new house. Well, I got good news for you. Highway Moving and Transport Services has got you covered. Highway Moving and Transport Services takes the worries out of moving. They treat your things like they're their own. You can sit back and relax while our experienced crew makes moving carefree. We service all of New Jersey. If you're getting ready to move, call us at 609-289-4935. That's 609-289-4935. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. What is crank? It's a highly addictive, powerful
10
dangerous.
WD-40.
Yeah, it's brutal. It can. Oh no, it's bad. It's like methamphetamine with anything really. They just mix
It's
it
a
up.
mix. It's a garbage can.
That sounds
It was a
fucking terrible.
cheap. It was a poor man's cocaine, is
Yeah.
what it was.
Well, the poor
Yeah.
man's cocaine is now called Wellbutrin. Crush those
Huh.
up, snort them. Yeah, that's the poor man's.
Yeah,
cocaine.
that's the new. I've heard that people were doing that when I was in my Oxford house.
Yeah, no, thank you.
What, snorting Wellbutrin?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, listen, people.
Well, at least they're not smoking.
Yeah, dude, listen, everybody was going to do anything they can. I had a dude, he moved his girl in, he's in his room snorting wellies, getting freaking wild,
Willies.
because the way the way it hits your brain, that's what it really comes down to. They want
And
for the instant
when I
release.
was working, where we were working together, it was just starting to be where people were coming in snorting quillies, hiding their Seroquels,
Oh,
and then would be cutting and snorting their Seroquels.
what the? Why? Like, why do they? They'll,
I think
you'll just
I don't
snort
know.
everything. I mean, I was
But
guilty of it too. But like, it's the drug you crave, and it's the actions. Crushing it up, making powder and snorting it. That Wellbutrin burns your fucking nose. Let me tell you something, like nothing else.
I
So
never
yeah, you,
done
you
it.
put yourself through hell to get like a coffee stimulant. Like, it doesn't make sense, but like, it's unfortunate that in the rehab world, everybody's doing something to get high.
it's the behavior.
The behavior.
It's the behavior. They
Yeah.
could take that the normal way and get the same effect sometimes.
Yeah.
They choose their behavior to chop it, snort it, and sneak it because it gives them that added sense of, look at me.
Yeah.
Well, how many times have Tim? I know I've heard it multiple times. Like if you go to a meeting or back in the day or something where people be like, "Yes, I found pills in my wife's purse. You know, I'm crushing them up, snorting them, popping them, whatever." And then it turns out it's her estrogen pills or
Yeah.
her freaking or her pregnancy pill. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they just do it to do it. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's just what they got. It's the let's just fucking take something and do it.
You're right.
You know, and
You're
half
right.
the time you don't even know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, you could be snorting
They
cold
just want a
medicine.
pill.
Yeah. They just want a pill. Makes them feel good.
Do you know how many times as a nurse that they would want give me everything legally permissible to go to sleep,
Yeah.
and they still want to go to sleep because it was all here.
All there.
And then they would come up and they would want, I need more of this, I need more of that, I need more Seroquel, I need more Trazodone, I need more um, Ativan. Call the
Mhm.
doctor, see if you can get me another Ativan,
Yep.
see if you can get me another sub. I need. It was all in their head. It was just constant, every 20 minutes, all night long. Give me, give me, give me.
Yeah.
And then I would say, listen, I got this one thing I've been holding back. If you don't tell nobody, now you've put them in the VIP category where they believe they're getting something that nobody else can get
Uh huh.
mentally. I got something the doctor left me as a reserve for you if we had this problem, but that's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's all bullshit.
Yeah. It is.
What's it called? It's called the Tylene. It'll get you leaning, bro, but I'm going to give it to you, but you got to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
The Tylene. All
Yep.
right, man, give me one of them Tylenes. I give them a Tylene. I would never see them till the morning.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what the Tylene is?
No.
Tylenol.
Tylenol and something.
You got it, Tylenol.
Tylenol. Idiots.
It worked.
Fucking idiot. But you
Idiot.
know,
I
all
saw.
the listen, did you ever hear there was a story? There was some musician that was on the methadone, right? The pills back in the day. I don't know how true it is. This is what I heard, but I read up a little bit on it where he was taking methadone, right? And he was having a buddy or whoever giving the methadone.
Mhm.
After a certain amount of time, it just shows how mental it is.
Yeah.
After a certain amount of time, they have the oh shit. Sorry. I plugged my laptop in. But they would keep, he would start his buddy, what he would do is he'd buy the empty capsules and he started shaving the pills down and
Oh
shaving
my
the pills down.
God.
But as a good thing to get him to veer off of taking them. So
Gosh,
then
man.
after a while, he was just shaving some shit. It would be like Advil or something.
That's funny. Like people at methadone clinics, they have the clinic blind dose them, so they don't even know
Yeah,
what they're getting.
my ex was that. Yeah.
So that, they wean them off that way. So it is. It's mental. 90% of it's a mental. So
Yeah, the whole time. And then the guy celebrated. They're like, "What are we celebrating?" He's like, "You've been off methadone for 6 fucking months."
yeah,
And he had no idea.
This
No
is why
idea.
I can't stress enough. And I know I've said it before. You have to work on yourself
yeah,
to figure out what's going on with a counselor, with a psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever. Just somebody. You need to work your shit out.
yeah.
It's all stems from working your problems out.
I kind of
And
touched on that
trauma
when.
and trauma. I mean, we used to go through it.
Yeah,
I used to blaze right through this questionnaire upon admittance. I'll never forget it. One night I would go through and I would try and make it. They're being asked these questions, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and they OD'd earlier in the day. Like they really feel like answering these fucking questions,
yeah,
right?
yep.
I would go through them. I try to make it entertaining. I'm like, you would have to ask them about past trauma, past usage. I'd be like, listen, you know, did like an Uncle Kevin ever like touch your pee or something? And then one time, this guy said, looked at me when I said that. I try and make it enter. Most times they would go, no, no, no.
Yeah.
But this guy turned to me and he started crying. He said, yes, yes, my uncle.
Mm,
And I was like, whoa. I mean, we had a whole trauma team response
yeah.
that we could enact at the place that I worked, not where we worked. This is another place. There was a whole trauma team that I was able to send emails out, and by the morning they were ready. I mean, he
Yeah.
got handled with kick gloves, and they did a great job. But you just never know. But there's always some reason.
Well, see,
But I'm just making a joke of it, and he said, "Yeah." And fortunately, I had the training and the tools to not say, "Oh shit," what I say. But yes, it was his uncle, and it turned out to be a big to do.
would he have ever divulged that information if it wasn't you, if it was just somebody else? If did the situation call for it? Like,
He
and
was 38 years old. He had never before.
okay, so if that's
I mean, I
for
don't want to think I have some magic way of asking a question. I think it was like 3 in the morning, and I said, "Hey, did your uncle Kevin ever touch a PP inappropriately, anything like that?" As I'm taking notes,
yeah,
and there
But
was silence
I
instead of
think
a laugh.
I think it's your delivery, Mike. I think your
it is.
delivery is what really got him to be like, you know what, this guy, he's speaking to me. You know.
See, my point of everything was you never know who you're going to help. You know what I mean? You touch somebody with
And
just a
30 days later, he was a different guy. I
yeah,
mean, there was places set up for him. His family was involved. I mean, it was okay. He
yeah,
he was going to be okay.
good. It's crazy though, right? It's just
You never know. You got to
you
watch what
never
you
know. Yep.
if if you don't listen. I don't care what you do for a living. What all our listeners do for a living. Don't ask a question unless you're really prepared for the answer.
That's a good point.
And that's really true in healthcare.
Yeah.
Don't ask somebody a question if you're not prepared for what they're about to say.
Right. Yeah,
I
you're right.
was.
Yeah.
I was taking it light, but I was.
Yeah.
It goes for any profession. That's the
Yeah.
one thing I can say.
It just goes to show if your character is honorable and you just want to do the right things for the next person because people did it for you. You just yeah. Nick said it's all about your delivery, and if it wasn't you and him in that room at 3 o'clock in the morning, would he have ever shared that with his counselor that barely does their job? You know what I mean? So it was. I mean, you
Yeah.
never know what circumstances lead to someone not dying. It doesn't have to be a big podcast and make a big deal of it. You can just say to somebody as simple as, "Hey, you look good today." I do. I look good. Maybe I won't kill myself. So like little things. But
Yeah.
like Mike, you take it a step further. Of course, you talk a guy off. He's there for drugs or alcohol, but you hit it. And that's a great thing because he got the care he actually probably needed, which
Yes,
is
he did.
important.
Well, the other thing too is a lot of these people think that they're, you know, one out of a million or 1 out of 100 that it actually happens to.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't say things because they don't want to be judged. A lot
Yep.
of people don't say things because they think that they're the only ones. You know what I mean? Like next thing you know, you they're in a group and you know, Mike, you set it up. You got the team, whoever it was, to come in and direct
They were
them
ready.
to take the right course of action and shit like that. But like after a while, then you know that there's going to be other people in where you're at or in meetings and things like that, that you are not the only one
Right.
that it has happened to. You
You're
know
not
what I mean?
you're not terminally unique. And that's what's great about support groups. You know, you realize that happened to that person too. I can identify with that. It's good. I mean,
Yeah.
that's amazing, Mike. That's your story with that guy.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, man.
Hope
All
he's
right,
good.
let's
Yeah,
look.
he didn't know if like this meant that he was gay his whole life,
Yeah,
and all the stuff that I'm not prepared to deal with, but I can definitely tell him, no. You have two wonderful children at home. You're not gay. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You have a supportive wife. Enough that I knew, but yeah, you just don't ask a question unless you're prepared to deal with the answer.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, I want to move on to opiates. We talked about heroin, but regular opiates. They may be the most dangerous thing out there. They're not available as much as they used to be. Back in 2003, 2004, they were everywhere. OxyContin, Purdue Pharma, and a lot of this stuff started my generation in a drug avenue. Like we never they were always there. They give them to you for a toothache. They'll give them to you for
Toothache,
everything. So
ankle
like
sprain.
I know. And so like me going through that, it was just everywhere. It was just it was awesome in my mind. I wrote my own prescriptions. That's how unregulated it was. And they were Oxycontin, 80 milligrams, not time released. Unbelievable. Worse, way worse than heroin.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, two things. Opiates are bad to kick. They're hard to kick. Cocaine, you won't even, and meth, they won't even accept you into detox because there's nothing to
No.
detox. They're just like, sleep it off. Then you can come in, I guess. I don't know. They won't take
Well,
you in as a,
That's not true.
it
I,
is.
He did. We do take them, and
I
we
mean,
did take them.
I didn't get in. I didn't get into any treatment when I got down here 7.5 years ago. I was screwed. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I literally, I would be talking to you. My brain would be like oozing out of my pores
Mm-hmm.
because I'd be on all these benders throughout weeks at a time.
Yeah.
I would sleep. One day, my sister's hitting me up like, "Hey, Nick, you coming to dinner tomorrow?" And she's like, I'm like, "Bro, you said that was on Saturday." She's like, "Tomorrow is Saturday." Meanwhile, I'm thinking it's Tuesday, but like every day
Jesus.
it was the same thing. But I would
Yeah.
talk to you and I would just stop talking to you because
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what I was talking about. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Intake wasn't asking you the right kind of questions.
I think you're right,
What
I don't
was there
know.
headaches? We'll put you on Topamax. Was there headaches that were happening? Debilitating headaches when you weren't using, or when you came down off of it? There was a lot of things, and I think it just came from you really needed people to understand and read the books of the insurance company,
Yeah. No
Yeah.
doubt.
and to
Well, I
say that
mean,
them so ask those key phrases. And
I,
fortunately, not the first place where we worked together, but the next
yeah.
place I was at, um, yes, they knew what to ask, and most times they were true. Not like they were falsifying anything.
Yeah.
They just knew the questions to ask
Right.
about the
Yeah.
headaches for Topamax, for cocaine and meth withdrawal.
Right.
I mean, I'm grateful for the way my recovery has went from that time. You know what I mean? I mean, at the time, I was like, damn, okay, couldn't get into treatment, couldn't get into Oxfords, couldn't get into Serenities, couldn't get into anything. But I ended up getting my Essex County to fund me, or Morris County, one or the other, to fund me for IOP, intensive outpatient for 3 months. And I was able to
And
live in a sober living at the time. But,
So that was
that's
just that was a blessing.
that
if
was the
somebody is
way it
seeking
went.
treatment, if somebody's seeking treatment and the insurance company and the facility tells them no, we can't, man, did you just give them a green light to do whatever the hell
No
they want?
kidding.
Man,
Yeah.
I tried. See, I tried.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem. They don't
20
think I got a problem.
21
Oh,
days,
I
right?
mean, oh
21 days,
I
you're all
mean,
better.
yeah.
listen, I was broken. You know what I'm saying? So like,
For you to
I
even
was,
ask for the help and then be told you don't qualify
well,
just
it
makes
was,
you want to use twice as much.
yeah, it was kind of forced help at that time. But I was beat up, physically, mentally exhausted. Like I already knew
You're ready
I
to
was
surrender.
like, I was done. I was tired. I was tired. So I knew at that point, like I was ready to throw my hands up and surrender and get this process going,
Yep.
So, but with the opiates, I mean, back when it's coming on 7.5, about 8 years almost. Like back when I was still drinking and doing things like that, like I had a big thing with drinking, popping some Xanax, maybe doing some Roxys. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like, but it's the thing is, that's also one of the most lethal combinations out there.
Oh, it is.
The liquor and the freaking, the opiates and the pills and things. But people don't realize that.
No.
That's
They
how
just,
most of our celebrity deaths have happened.
yeah. Hey, let's go drink. Let's go to the bar. But I'm going to pop a few Xanax, some perks, whatever the case is, some oxys. And next
They would
thing you know,
aspirate
yeah. And
all the
then
way back to the Rolling Stones and Keith Moon. How
Keith
long ago was
Moon.
that? Or the Who throwing
Man,
up and they would all do that with the alcohol and the Quaaludes back
Listen,
then.
the most dangerous thing you can do is drink and take Xanax, something, a benzo, anything like it.
yeah.
It will kill you. It will kill you.
Yeah, it's wild. I remember
killed
those
many.
times.
Yeah.
I'd be taking pills, any type of pill, no matter what it was, and drinking. And next thing you know, I'm waking up on my couch. Like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Feel
You
like
being a bigger
absolute-
guy helped also. Your
Yeah.
metabolism.
I mean, I was a back then. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm a light 280, but back then I was probably about 225. Still a decent sized guy. but that shit would hit me like a ton of bricks, man. You
Man.
know
Yeah, but
what I
you're like
mean?
6. Are you like 6'3", 6'4"?
Without heels, but 6'2".
6'2". All right.
Yeah, 6'2". I just found out. Not happy about it. Took a DOT test a couple of months ago. Said I was
Maybe
6'2".
starting to shrink a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm going backwards. I'm getting shorter and getting wider. It's the
My
kiss
dad,
of death.
my dad is like
It could
four.
be you're in a pretty serious relationship though, right?
Yeah, my girl. That's my
So
girl.
I think what is going on, and if the camera can see me, it's yes, dear, yes, dear,
Oh no,
yes, dear.
my
That's what I think happened.
Nick, don't do it.
No.
That's what. That's what. So, opiate withdrawal is horrifying. I've gone through it 10 times. It's a lot of reason. It's mainly the reason that people on heroin and fentanyl they don't want to get clean because they're afraid of the withdrawal, and
And
I
getting sick to them is just so.
they just can't
It's
handle it.
not sick like you think sick, or the listeners that are not in recovery think sick. This is COVID times 10,
Yeah.
and there's nothing that can be done for you.
Nope. So the Suboxone they give or the Subutex, it doesn't hit it anymore. It's not heroin. It's fentanyl. It's trank. It's whatever. They give you the Suboxone, and sometimes it'll put them into precip, and they'll be even worse. And they'll. It's just brutal. I've seen it so many times. I've lived it so many times. Yeah, that's definitely something that will hit with somebody. Opiate withdrawal is it's not fun, and if you're on something like methadone or Suboxone, it's way worse. It lasts forever.
Because that shit goes right into your bones
Oh,
and
does
like
it?
all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had this conversation 1,000 times. People are like, "I'm ready," and then they're like, "Maybe I'm not ready." They were afraid that they still had some in their system, so I would double up on what I could legally double up to get them through the symptoms until it began, until the withdrawal began.
right.
But trying to do that timing, once you started it, you have to make sure that
Yeah,
they know
man.
their own body, that
Yep.
they know their own body. You got to listen to them about their own body instead of a set pamphlet that says, well, 36 hours after their last use, we can start using the bupe. No, better wait because there's other stuff inside. And I think over the last couple of years, you're right on the money, Tim, Nick, that they're starting to change their procedures because of the trank, which causes necrosis where your skin just dies and flakes
Yeah.
off.
Yep.
Kidney disease. I don't know. Is that a Kensington thing? Did that start in Kensington? Because I saw a
Trank?
lot of people.
Trank? No, it was
Yeah.
from North Jersey, right, Nick?
I think so. I think that's like a city, New York City, North Jersey thing.
I mean, that's a drug route, Philly to New York City.
Yeah.
Most
I
of the
mean,
drugs-
listen, it's crazy. Like any listeners who are like listening to the show and they're like, are like, man, I'm kind of struggling to go get high. Like to hear this shit, like it's not even appealing anymore. Like alligator
No.
skin or
Ugh.
alligator legs, whatever it is, and trank, like, and by getting sick again. It's like, man, it's not even freaking worth it, man. Like, just to make a little quick decision to go, get some dope, some trees, whatever it is, you know what I mean? And you're like, man, just to feel that way, it's not even worth it.
It's not worth it. The path of destruction that comes with that is enough to keep me clean.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I mean, you hit it right on the head, dude. We spoke about it. What is this? 13, episode 11, I think, where
Yep.
the people that are affected around us. I mean, like you said, a lot of parents watch this show. But then again, parents are going to watch this show and try and understand, but it's not that easy to understand. I had some people.
I'm a
around me-
nurse, and I didn't understand. I was there to
Yeah.
treat and help and learn, but there's things about the finer points of addiction that I will never understand.
Yeah.
Like for instance, our friend Bob, he OD'd. He got some shit from Kensington last night, a bag, and he died. Why the hell would everybody want the exact same type
Without a doubt.
that Bob just died from?
Without a
It's
doubt.
like telling me that Bob got food poisoning at Wong O Walks Chinese place. I'm not going to go to Wong O Wok's Chinese place and eat dinner the next night. An attic is different. Bob died from that stuff that he got on that corner in Kensington. That's the same exact stuff that I want. I will never comprehend that.
Do you remember what you told me our first shift working together, night shift, Mike? You brought up I think it was a chicken analogy where you brought us out. You brought me outside. We were smoking outside or whatever we were doing, and you were like, "Listen, this is
I'm sure we were smoking, right?
Yeah.
No.
So you were like, hey, this is crazy. You know, it's a guy goes to a chicken shop or say KFC and he eats a chicken sandwich and then he dies from the chicken sandwich because he chokes on it because it's not cooked all the way or something like that. But
There's
then
a bone in it, right?
and there's a bone in it. And then the next day, that chicken place is going to be packed because of the way the chicken was or whatever it is. But it's just the fact of no matter what, the place is still going to be packed because of the way it happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
Someone ODs, it's not like, oh man, that dude was a good dude. We got to stay away. It's, oh, that must be some strong shit. We got to go right there, right now. Because it's going to.
That's the mentality that I, being not in active recovery myself, there are the little nuances of recovery that I never really got. That I would come home after a shift and just rack my brain and just be like, why would you want the same stuff that your best friend just died from?
Yep.
You know what I mean? That makes no sense to me.
Heroin addicts
And
don't care if they live or die. That's
No.
why they're
I
doing
just
heroin.
never got around that. But
So-
I would use the KFC.
Yeah.
If Bob died there, the last place I'm going to go eat is KFC.
Well, I did it
Yeah.
myself. I would buy Roxasets in North Jersey, and there's 3 different kinds, and the one kind fucks you up bad, and I knew people that died from it, so I was searching out that kind because I have a tolerance. I'll be fine. It's gonna be awesome.
Honestly, I personally too. I mean, I can't explain it now. There might have been a couple of times I thought that, but I got lucky enough to not be in a situation. I would like to think that where if I heard that, I wouldn't be like, oh man, let me go get this. You know what I mean? Someone died, let me go run over there. But it's just crazy. There's some people who are content doing what they're doing, low key, thinking they're low key, but getting high, everything's good, harmless. And then there's the other ones who find out, like we just explained, find out where the hardcore drugs are.
I said something you remembered all them years ago?
Yeah.
Young pupil Nick?
Yeah. About, what is that, 6 years ago?
6, 7 years ago. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Long time. I remember. It was my first shift at that fucking job.
and you were with me?
Yeah, I was with you.
Man, that was fun. That had to be fun.
Time. Yeah, it was. It was a good time. Smacking myself
always
in
fun.
the nurse's chair to stay awake. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was always fun working with Nurse Mike, wasn't it?
Oh,
yeah, it was.
Was it ever?
Yeah.
He's a good guy, that Nurse Mike. So that shit is rough. What were we talking about? Because if I'm doing this show and I'm not being transparent about what I'm doing and who I am, I'm not giving everything to the show, and that just takes it away from our listeners.
Facts, 100%.
So like I don't give a shit what anybody thinks of me. I just that's my life right now. And
That is, we're trying to give our listeners and our audience a view of what it's like, what it's really like when we're not at the facility in a meeting and sitting at home, 3 guys, 3 buddies from 3 different places in life. And it's refreshing. Even last week's more serious episode was refreshing.
Yeah. We got a lot to give, the 3 of us, and we come at it from every angle you can imagine. Yeah, I'm newly clean, but I know what it's like to be clean. Nick, you got a chunk of clean time. Mike, you're our clinical analyst. I don't know. I just I felt comfortable telling you guys, and like I said, I wouldn't be doing the right things and if I was on the podcast and bullshitting everybody. So yeah, I figured.
Well, I mean, if I'm almost, since my stroke, I'm 1 year smoke free. For our audience that didn't know, I smoked 2 packs of Marlboros a day for over 30 years.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm kind of on maintenance too. Look, Blue, the old Blue
terrible
from 2005.
You
Yeah,
might
this
have
is
to.
kinda
You might
made
have to edit that out, Tim. Nobody
I
wants
will.
to see the blue.
I'll get that
No,
out.
I'm just kidding.
No.
Stacy's mom gave it to me.
Yeah, she's got it going on.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean, analogy here is I stopped smoking, but I replaced it with vapes. You know what I mean? So it's like
Mhm.
it's harm reduction in that area too. It's I didn't really stop. I stopped the worst one, but I didn't stop the one that was okay. So like, you gotta take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. I thought I'd
I
share that.
hope our audience Googles that group I ran up to my stroke, the MARA group, and saw the preamble and their rules. That's the way it should be everywhere.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
right.
it really. Oh, oh, it's
I mean,
like it's like the new version of the Bible.
yeah, no
It's just
kidding.
wow. 1 little sheet, 12 rules, basically. Don't get high, steal, and die today. Other
Yeah,
than that, you've had a good day.
yeah. Well, like for me, listen, my brain is fucked up. I rewired it the wrong way using opiates and shooting opiates. It's just not right, And so I take the Suboxone. It doesn't get me high, but it fills those receptors, um, and I'm
Does it
okay.
even get you high anymore? I mean, you're
I
going down in strength.
no, I, I
Um,
I I don't even notice it.
is is it like this? Is what
That's
I'm
what I'm
saying.
saying. Yeah, exactly.
It's
It's exactly
blue. It's a
what I'm saying.
blue.
Yeah. So yeah, you replace one with the other, but the
Right.
one you replace, it's worse for you than what you were doing. So, I was doing heroin, and now I'm on mat, and that's where I'm at. So, but like, yeah, I got my faculties about me. I feel good. I look good, of course. It's it's new to me. I've been on and off it for years. I was on everything. I was on everything you can imagine. Um,
What
and
brand did you smoke?
me,
Yeah,
once I got to Kensington Newports.
of course.
Oh,
Hundreds or
No,
shorts.
no,
hundreds, bro.
shorts.
Hundreds all day.
You can get 3 needles for a Newport down there.
Man, Newport shorts taste different. Newport hundreds are the best, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I never
When I would mix and match, I would always do. When I was in prison, I would always do hundreds because
got more of the.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to all my life working UPS. I would smoke Marlboro Lights, 2 packs a day.
Mm.
Marlboro Lights. Now I think about that cigarette. I'm like, that's fucking gross.
Yeah, it's nasty.
yeah, yeah, it's nasty. I mean, for me to say that it smells horrible. I was never going to be that guy, but
Yeah,
to say, oh, come on, let's move tables.
yeah,
That guy smoking near the door.
yeah,
That was never going to be me, but it's pretty bad,
yeah.
dude. It is pretty
I
bad.
know it's bad, but I haven't had
I
a
don't.
cigarette.
I miss it, but I don't. I mean, 35 years. I had a stroke. For those who don't know, on camera, on my Ring camera, with a Marlboro in my mouth. I went down with the stroke, actually on film. And
Damn.
if that's not the end to stop smoking, what else is?
My
That's
dad
it.
too. He needed vascular
That was my
surgery.
last. That was my last cigarette.
My dad, same
Good.
same story. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to quit. In the morning when I first wake up, I miss it. And that's how I was smoking. I'd have one in the morning, maybe one after dinner. But yeah, that morning smoke is I still want it. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Well, when your lungs don't feel like they're about to explode from the amount of cigarettes you smoked the day before, that morning cigarette wasn't too
Yeah.
bad.
No kidding.
But
This
yeah,
was my first winter without coughing, hacking up
yeah.
phlegm. Not at all.
Yeah,
Well, your clothes don't smell. Nothing smells. Oh boy, there he is.
we're like 3 air traffic controllers.
Breaker 19.
Yeah.
Breaker, clear for landing. Can you hear us, Mike? Mike got a phone call. Fucked the whole thing up.
All right. Let's see here. That's about it. Thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for listening to our nonsense. We appreciate it, and we love you. And Talking Trash out.